Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Agent Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for post Ghost from the Past, the second haunting. We got a lot of new support for the Agent deck in the latest Ghost from the Past set. This was actually meant to be a structure deck for a good while. It was released as a structure deck in the Yu-Gi-Oh OCG, but they decided to release this deck in the form of the singles you can get from the Ghost from the Past set. I know there are some people that like when this happens because then you get everything in foil, but then also making it a little more difficult to get all the copies of the cards because you don't get a guarantee per each box from Ghost from the Past. But we did get some pretty awesome support in the form of new synchros, main deck monsters, and even a new link monster for the agents. So definitely happy with the results of the deck. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the main deck monsters, I am running 3, the Agent of Mystery Earth. This is one of your go-to searchers in the deck. When it's normal summon, you can add 1, the Agent monster, from your deck to your hand, except for the Agent of Mystery Earth. And if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, you can add 1 Master Hyperion from your deck to your hand instead. So that search power will definitely come in handy, especially with the easy special summon for the different Hyperions we have in the deck, being the main search for Master Hyperion with this card, but being able to search out any of the other agent monsters as well means we can add one of the new agents, the Agent of Life Neptune, to our hand to continue our special summons. Speaking of the new agent, we're running 3 of the Agent of Life, Neptune. You can discard this card to special summon 1, the agent monster, from your hand or graveyard, except the Agent of Life, Neptune. Or if the Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field or in the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Hyperion monster instead. Neither player can tribute a monster summoned with this effect until the end of your opponent's turn. And if this card is banished, you can add 1, the Sanctuary in the Sky, from your deck to your hand. And you can only use each effect of the Agent of Life, Neptune once per turn. So this is more setup in the deck. Just being able to special summon an agent monster from your hand or graveyard gives you that recycle power, and cards you may need to summon out some of your other cards like our Link monster, Protector of the Agent's Moon, which just requires 2 fairy monsters, and being able to also search out our main go-to field spell in the deck that sets up a lot of our protection is another added bonus. And for more of the special summon, I run 3, the Agent of Creation Venus. With this card, you can pay 500 life points to special summon 1 Mystical Shine Ball from your hand or deck. So you can, it's not a once per turn, remember that at first, so you can get all your Shine Balls out onto the field from your hand or deck, just giving you all those resources in the form of a level 2 normal monster. Just means for more and more easy summons from the extra deck, you just need 2 fairy monsters for Protector of the Agent's Moon. That can be done with just the 2 Mystical Shine Balls. And along with Venus, we also have the new Agent of Destruction Venus, which can be helped to then recycle those cards after we use them. And speaking of Shine Balls, also running 3 of this card. It's just your go-to level 2 normal monster, what you need for special summoning out with the Agent of Creation Venus. So you definitely want to max out your numbers of this card so you can get all 3 special summons onto the field just for the cost of 1,500 life points altogether. For some of the lower numbers for the agent monsters, I also run 2 of the new Majesty Hyperion. You can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard by basically banishing 1, the agent monster, from your graveyard, field, or hand. And also you can only special summon Majesty Hyperion once per turn this way. Any battle damage you take from battles involving your fairy monsters is also inflicted onto your opponent. And once per turn, you can banish 1 fairy monster from your hand or graveyard to target 1 card in either graveyard, banish it. And if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field or in either graveyard, you can use this effect up to twice per turn. So the banish will come in handy when using cards like Neptune to gain the additional searches, and also just for setting up more of the graveyard disruption you can use against your opponent. You really only need 2 of this card though. I run it in tandem with your Master Hyperion, which we also just run 1 copy of because it is searchable with Mystery of Earth. It's more of the destruction card by banishing a light fairy monster from your graveyard to target 1 card in the field and destroy that target. It works very, very well with Majesty Hyperion, having both cards take care of the different resources your opponent may have, whether it's on the field or in the graveyard. And for more of the lower numbers for the agents, just 1 Agent of Destruction Venus. You can banish 1, the Agent of Creation Venus, from your graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. You can pay life points in multiplications of 5. Then for every 500 life points paid, target 1 of your Mystical Shine Balls that is banished or in your graveyard, special summon them, but place them on the bottom of the deck when they leave the field. You can only use 1, the Agent of Destruction Venus effect per turn, and only once that turn. So with the option for the special summon, you can either use that or your recycle play as an added option. You can can send the Agent of Creation Venus to the graveyard for a link play with one of your Shine Balls, and then have the special summon of Venus onto the field with your recycle power then for the Shine Balls being the only limitation, since you can't use both effects in the same turn. So it all comes down to what you want to use. You can always wait a turn and then have the option for summoning back the Shine Balls onto the field and giving you more resources to use, but you really just need to play out the plays to use them. And I only run one Agent of Destruction Venus because you have the Agent of History Earth to search out this card, and you do have other ways to special summon it onto the field, like in the form of the Agent of Life Neptune. And for more of the generic fairy support in the deck, I also run 3 Herald of Orange Light. You can send this card and one other fairy monster from your hand to the graveyard to negate the activation or effect of a monster your opponent controls and destroy it. So great shutdown for a good number of cards your opponent may have. And for more of the effect negation, we're also running Herald of Mirage Lights in the extra deck as well for the additional tribute for those fairy monsters. And for more lockdown of your opponent's field, I'm also running 2 Archlord Christia. If you have exactly 4 fairy monsters in your graveyard, which is very easy to control in this deck with all the banishing you do as well, you can special summon this card from your hand, and when you do target 1 fairy monster in your graveyard, add that target to your hand, and neither player can special summon monsters, and if this face-up card will be sent from the field to the graveyard, you can return it to the top of the deck instead. So shutting down special summons takes care of a lot of different decks your opponent may have. I like running the 2. If you were to run any of the new Herald of Diviner, one of the more expensive cards, I know it is probably getting reprinted in the Megatin, you can always swap out some copies of Christia and some of the hand traps for additional spots for that card. But once again, it's a little more expensive for people just trying to build this deck straight out of the Ghost from the Past set. So if you don't have that card, it's understandable, but there are means for you to take out this deck to add that card in. And I also run 1 Bootin. This is a fairy tuner monster. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Target 1 face-up level 4 lower light fairy monster you control and treat as a tuner while face-up on the field. We do run some pretty big boss monster for the new deck in the form of Master Flare Hyperion. So being able to adjust monsters to become tuners with Bootin is a big help there, but also being able just to special summon this card out with cards like Crystron Halka-Fibrax, which are much easier to get a hold of now thanks to the Ghost from the Past set. You can special summon this card out onto the field and set it up to the graveyard that much more quickly that way also. It's mostly what that target is for in the deck. And for the rest of the monsters in the main deck, I run 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring and 3 Effect Veiler. A lot of your plays in this deck can be kickstarted with just a couple cards. If you open up the Agent of Mystery Earth, you have a play to go off of there, or even just Venus, and then you can rely on the hand traps for the rest of the cards used to stop any of your opponent's plays. And that is it for the main deck monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. I run 3 of the Sacred Waters in the Sky. You activate 1, the Sanctuary in the Sky, directly from your deck, or add 1 monster that mentions the Sanctuary in the Sky from your deck to your hand. Then, if the Sanctuary in the Sky is not on the field or in the graveyard, you can pay 500 life points for each Hyperion or agent monster you control. And if your monster that mentions Sanctuary in the Sky would be destroyed by battle, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So you have search options for all of your agent monsters, since a good number of them mention the Sanctuary in the Sky, or just being able to set up the main card on the field that gives you added bonuses with a good majority of your fairy monsters in the deck. I also run 2 the Chorus in the Sky. Another new card, you pay 1,000 life points, then target 1 fairy monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Then if the Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field or in the graveyard, you can add 1 of your banished Sanctuary in the Sky or 1 of your banished cards that mentions it to your hand. You can activate 1 the Chorus in the Sky per turn, but being able to then recycle more cards back to your hand for you to use is what I like about this card. Only running 2 though, you have more of a setup with the Sacred Waters in the Sky. This card really only comes into play once all those cards are already set up on the field or graveyard. And for a few of the one-ofs, 1 Sanctuary in the Sky, you really only need 1 of this card. Opening up multiples of this will be more of a dead draw, since you have options for searching out this card in the deck. And also a lot of the newer cards just benefit from having it in the graveyard or on the field. So as long as it's on the field or in the graveyard, you can make use of this card. And also just the 1 Call by the Grave for more graveyard shutdown plays for your opponent, especially if they try to stop cards like Archlord Christia. You can rely on this to stop them. And that is it for the spells. Moving on now to the traps. I run 2 Fallen Sanctuary. When this card is activated, set 1 the Sanctuary in the Sky, or 1 spell or trap that mentions it directly from your deck. This card's name becomes the Sanctuary in the Sky while on the field or in the graveyard. And you can banish 1 fairy monster from your graveyard, then target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. If this card leaves the field, you can only use the effect of Fallen Sanctuary once per turn. You can activate 1 Fallen Sanctuary per turn. So with this card, you have effects negation, even if this card leaves the field, but being able to recycle and search and set up other cards to search and activate the Sanctuary in the Sky is another added addition to help with the playstyle that this deck is meant to do. With the last of the traps in the deck just being 3 infinite impermanents, just a great option like Effect Veiler and Ash Blossom to stop your opponent if they do go first against you. And that is it for the main deck. Moving on now to the extra deck. I run 2 Protector of the Agent's Moon. You need 2 fairy monsters. If this card is link summoned, you can send 1 to Sanctuary in the Sky or 1 card that mentions it from your deck to the graveyard. And if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field or in either graveyard, you can add 1, the Agent of Mystery Earth, from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Instead, you contribute 1 face-up Mary monster, then target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. And you can only use each effect of the Protector of Agent's Moon once per turn. So the addition of being able to search out your Agent of Mystery Earth gives you that normal summon search that you definitely do need for a lot of the playstyle in the deck. So I like running 2 of this card, so you always have that play readily available, and you only need 2 fairy monsters to make this card. So 2 Shine Balls that you summon out with the Agent of Creation Venus can easily take care of this. For some of the other link monsters, the 1 Crystron Halka-Fibrax is a big play with this card, obviously to set up some bigger, powerful synchros to summon out, but being able to also special summon Butin, which then you can use to link into another Link 2 monster using the 2, or tribute the Halka-Fibrax and then use the Butin for a tuner play. Since it is a level 1 tuner, it will also come in handy. With the rest of the link monsters being 1 Barricade Board Blocker, 1 Underclock Taker, 1 Herald of Mirage Lights for the Fairy Negation, definitely a big one that pops up, and also 1 Hippo Shenengan and 1 Cross Sheep for more of the Link 2 plays, and since we do run synchros, Cross Sheep comes in handy there. If you wanted to run Lena the Light Charmer, you can always take Hippo Shenengan out for that spot. And for the last of the Link monsters, just the 1 Apollosa being more of a Link 4 boss monster to stop additional monster effects along with the Herald of the Orange Light in the deck. And for the synchros, I'm running 2 of the Herald of the Underworld Pluto. You need 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner monster. It's a level 5 monster as well. It's always treated as the agent card. And this card's with it once per turn. You can banish 1 monster from your graveyard, then target 1 effect monster on the field. Change it to face down defense position. This is a quick effect. And if the Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field or in either graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 the Sanctuary in the Sky from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So more of a recycle card, but also a way to disrupt your opponent's own plays by setting the cards face down on the field for you to then go over with some of your other cards. It's also a level 5 tuner, so if need be, you can use it to go into some of your other bigger boss monsters, with one of them being Master Flare Hyperion. You need 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner fairy monster. You can send 1 the agent monster or 1 monster that activates Sanctuary in the Sky in your hand, deck, or extract to the graveyard until the end of this turn. This card's name becomes that monster's original name, and replace the effect with that monster's original effect. So being able to even take and use other agents you may have in your deck and then recycle cards like your Shine Balls or any of the other ones is a big play with this, but also being a 3200 attack point boss monster is an added bonus there. And when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can banish 1 fairy monster from your hand or graveyard and target 1 card of the field and banish it, taking out more cards on the field, just like Majesty Hyperion would with cards in the graveyard. For the rest of these synchros, I run the 1 Formula Synchron for the Halka-Fibrax play and the 1 Herald of the Arclight. This one pops up more with the Butin and Creation Venus option, or even being able to change one of your tuners by banishing your Butin into another level 2 option, and then using that monster along with Shine Ball to summon it. And also 1 Baron de Fleur. You can use this with one of your level 8 monsters and the formula play with Halka-Fibrax. It pops up more than I thought I would. That's why I enjoyed it in the deck. But if you don't have Baron de Fleur, you can always replace this card with another bigger synchro monster to make use of. I've tried Crystal Wing with some of the plays you can do with cards like Pluto and also Agent of Creation Venus, being able to summon out that way, or even with one of your other synchro monsters like the Herald of the Arclight. As for some of the go-to plays in the deck, being able to rely on the Agent of Creation Venus as a start play is a big help there for sure, because you can just summon out this card, pay the 1500 life, and if your opponent doesn't disrupt that play, you get the 3 Shine Balls on the field to summon out. And with this card, it doesn't even have to be normal summon, it just has to be placed on the field. So you can even just go for the Agent of Life Neptune, discarding it to special summon Venus out into the field, summoning out all 3 of the Shine Balls, and then going for the Link 2 play with your 2 mystical Shine Balls that that you summoned out to summon the Protector of the Agent Moon. And with this card, when it's Link Summon, being able to send one Sanctuary in the Sky or one card that mentions it from your deck to the graveyard. Or if Sanctuary of Sky is on the field with that card, you can add one Agent of Mystery Earth from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So with that search, you can either grab your field spell or go for that additional search of the Agent of Mystery Earth if you already went for that play. And since you discarded your Neptune for the special summon of the Agent of Creation Venus, you can then normal summon the Earth onto the field and gain the additional search. And if you have the Agent of Sanctuary in the Sky, on the field, you can search out Master Hyperion instead, giving you that special summon of this card onto the field for you to use against your opponent and all their destruction plays. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I always like learning about the new decks once the new set comes out. And the Agent one definitely caught me by surprise. I ended up liking this one a lot more than I thought I would. And I hope you all do as well. And until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.